Alrighty guys, welcome back to Easeldoesitstudio or Easeldoesitstudio Paintings. I'm not sure which channel this is going up on yet, but maybe both. So I am making a Lazy Susan. So I primed my piece of wood with just black. And I'm going to pour and this is just the Nick Pro black. It's just Nick Pro black, that's all. So I'm going to I'm just going to pour a, kind of like that in the center. And let's see, I do want to try to even my circle out just a bit here. And then if I need to add more, I will after. All right, so I'm just gonna pop some bubbles. All right, so I'm making a Lazy Susan, and my house is mostly gray, black, silver, and white. And then I do pops of color to accentuate it. So from what I have gathered, the first color that you put down is kind of the color that is going to outline whatever it is we've got going on. All right, so, and I just shook my paints because they have been sitting for a while. All right, so I'm just going to, we're going to make a puddle in the middle, and then I'm going to just blow it out, and then we're going to spin and kind of see what happens. So this is just the board part, and once this is cured, I will resin it, and then we will attach the base to it with the Lazy Susan part. So I am just gonna and so that was deep turquoise in the ready to pour. This is the metallic silver. So I'm just gonna put some of that. And then this is just primary blue. So, and I'm not doing like a solid color because I don't want any like particular color to take over. And this is quinacridone magenta. And this is just so we can get a hue of a pink maybe through there. And I'm gonna do a little bit of white. This is just titanium white. Got a little boogie thing in there. And then we're going to do some cobalt blue. And all right, I think we're just going to kind of go with that. I'm going to take my little baby blow dryer. I'm going to put it on high, but I'm going to hit the cool button. As you can see, I have a cool button, so I'm going to put it on high. And then Whoa. All right. I'm just gonna do that. I've already got a few cells forming. All right, so I'm just gonna slide this over just a bit. And let's kind of give it a swirl and see what we can come up with. And I've just got a cheap, like, cake spinner underneath, nothing major. All right, so we've still got some negative space. So I'm gonna spin it in the opposite direction now. Oh, hang on. I'm liking this. I don't really have much color over here. So let's give it another spin. And I did prime my board with black because that was like the major color. All right, so let's kind of go the other way. And it's definitely off center. And I'm not spinning it much. All right, let me. I'm just trying to tilt some of that color down, and then we'll try to bring it back. Trying to keep it so you can see what I'm, and hang on here. I taped my back, but not all of my back. So I am let me kind of, we're improvising on the go, guys. All right, so. All right, I'm liking that. The color on the camera is not even close to what it really is. So let me my glare over here is really bad. This is going to set on my dining room table. All right. I'm liking this. This is still a tad bit dark, but let me let me just see if I can bring some of this. No. So, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put a little bit there, and let's give that a spin and see what happens. Okay. Just trying to manipulate some of the turquoise that I just added. Okay, so I'm liking that more. Let's give it another swirly here. Okay, so I can definitely live with this for sure. All right, so yeah, we barely have any paint in the middle, so that's good. So I'm just gonna let this dry, and then when I come back, we will put a coat of epoxy on it, and then we'll, all right, so I'm just gonna, all right, I'm just gonna use my finger here. I'm just trying to get that excess paint off of the bottom. And I do have blue painter's tape down on the back side. All right. So I think that is gorgeous because, oh, I have a ladybug in there. Oh no, guys. Come on, Bubba, get out of there. Come on. Wipe your little feetsies off. Oh my goodness. All right, I think it's cleaned its feet and he's out. I saved the ladybug. Yeah, so we'll let this completely dry, and I'll probably let it dry for a couple of days. So hang on one second. Let me grab a wipe my hands, and that way I can bring you down for a close-up, because the colors that you guys are seeing, I'm still working on my angle, guys. I am sorry. But I just don't want to, like, touch my camera with all this paint on my hands. At least if I can dry it off a little bit. All right, so let me take you down, and so that is how it looks wet. So we'll let this dry overnight. I'll probably let it dry until tomorrow night. I'll give it a good 24 hours before I go ahead and put the resin coat on the top. All right, so I will be back for the rest of this. All right, guys, so it has been 24 hours. I let that completely sit for 24 hours, and right now I've got 5 ounces of the tabletop slip-on Craftor resin mixing. So I'm just stirring it. And tabletop resin, you can't run it through the debubbler. You can't use an electric stirrer. You have to do it by hand. And then you just have to work your bubbles out. So I am not sure how much this is going to take. I did add a little bit of the crushed crystals, so that will be on that top layer. So we're just gonna get this poured on, and hopefully we can get this thing assembled tomorrow. So I'm just gonna set that there. And I am just gonna pour a thin layer to the outside. And then I'm just gonna start this. Does not need to be a thick layer at all. And I wasn't sure exactly how much I was gonna need, so I figured I would, you know, mix up like 4.5, 5 ounces and see where that gets me. All right, let me just set that down. Ooh. And I have some sort of ring stuck in my paint there. I don't know how that happened. But all right, so I'm just, and I want to make sure that everything is covered. I will do the sides after. But I want to make sure that like the whole thing has a coating on it. There's no fish eyes. There's no spots that are not covered. I want this to be a nice, smooth finish. And the tabletop resin is your hottest resin. Okay, so let's see. So I'm just going to go around the sides because I do want to, and it's still on my little cake turner. I just want to make sure that all my edges are covered with the resin. But I didn't want it like completely pouring off, if that makes any sense. I just wanted a nice, even layer. Slide this over, and I'm just running my hands to make sure that everything is covered. And I know I needed a little bit more there. All right. And the back is still taped, so see, like I have a little little fisheye going on there, so I'm just gonna pour a little bit more. We're just gonna kind of keep spinning it and see if we get my tool here. I gotta a hair or something in there. Because this is self-leveling, so it will, you know, level itself out. All right, so that is looking good. Let me grab a paper towel here and try to wipe my hands. And we're gonna pop some bubbles. And I can see I have a hair right here. All right, so I've got that. It's like, how in the world do I get hairs in here when I have no animals that come down here? And I'm just looking. If I see anything that looks like it's something, I'm just going to try and scoop that out. And I know my lighting isn't the greatest at this angle, guys, but I will I will get some better pictures. All right, so I can see it's pulling away over here. See how, let me see if I can get an angle where it's showing. See right there? So I know I need to put, let me just grab a stick here, because I don't want a ton, but I do want to make sure that that is completely covered. All right, I'm just going around. If I see, you know, any spots that I think are gonna need a little bit, now is the time to put it down. All right, so that is looking good. I just wanna hang on. Caught my thingy on fire over here. Guess I got a little too close. Okay, so that is looking pretty good. And again, I want to make sure that my edges have a, you know, a full coating on them. I don't necessarily need it to be dripping down the bottom, but you know, I want it to have a full coat. I don't want the wood shining through. And then we can get, you know, any drip marks, we'll get that after. All right, so that looks pretty good. All right, so I've got a little, almost an ounce and a half left. So I'm working on another project. I will just use that in my next project. So, and then I'll come back and I'll check and make sure that we have no bubbles or anything showing up. And then we should be ready for the next layer. Well, not the next layer, the assembly. And because when I pull something out, like if I see something that doesn't look right, then I'll just drizzle a little bit more of that resin just to be on the safe side. All right. So I will be back for the next step. Okay, guys, so this is all done. I did put one more coat over, but yeah, this is the finished surface. So we're gonna work on getting the backing off. So I just wanted to show you, this is the spin mechanism. So you put it on the bottom piece, and then you've got to drill some sort of a hole to be able to put your screwdriver down through to attach this onto this. So when we go like that, you can see the hole, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to mark it out, and then we're going to put the 4 screws in here to have our completed base. So I'm just going to start getting some of this tape off. And I probably should have done this off camera, but I did want you guys to see the whole process. So you just have to bear with me here for a minute. You know, you can always fast forward if you don't want to see this part, but this one, it goes fairly quick. So, and when you layer your tape, if you layer it like over each other, it will make it much easier when you peel it off, because it will come off kind of together. All right. So I am, grab a spot here. I'm going to get this started. And we're just going to take our heat gun or blow dryer and heat the sides up. And that's how easy that comes off. So I did get a little bit of black on the back, but that's fine. That's the back. So then this is going to sit on this, and then we will have our Lazy Susan. So I will get that put together, and I will get you some final pictures, and I will also get some pictures of it on my table. So I am going to be very careful with this for the next week or two, because this resin is still going to be curing. So, you know, I'm not going to put anything really heavy on it for now. But yeah, that's how easy that is. So let me know in the comments what you think. And I am going to post this on both of my channels. So let me know which channel you watched it on, and I will see you guys on the next one.